how do we know that Labour isn't interested in reform? Well, their actions confirm the fact. That's why I know that this is a party that is happy to maintain the status quo, whatever it says. Let's look in just one area of activity for the clear indication that this is the case, and that is constitutional reform. We know full well that the UK constitution, such as it is, does not work well. We have an unelected House of Lords, and that is absurd. We have a first-past-the-post electoral system, something that only otherwise exists in Europe in Belarus, which is not a great example to copy. We have a ministerial code of conduct which is written by the Prime Minister and has no legal enforcement power behind it. We have a code that apparently allows MPs to accept enormous quantities of gifts without any sanction applying, even if they get personal benefit from them. And we have a House of Commons that really does not work very well. It is still an extremely antisocial place in which to work. It is in the dark ages when it comes to voting systems, so that everything takes far too long. Presenteeism is actually required when there may well be occasions when MPs had better tasks to do in their constituencies, but could still digitally vote on issues of importance which the whips require them to record an opinion on. And let's also be honest, the UK is supposedly a United Kingdom, but there is no clear indication at present that this is with the consent of all parts of that union. There are voices in Northern Ireland, in Wales and in Scotland who would clearly like to see their countries independent of England. And there is no proper mechanism to reinforce the union, if that is what is required, or to permit it being broken up, if that is what proves to be necessary in due course. Labour is not addressing any of these issues, nor, come to that, is it properly addressing the issues around devolved government or the devolution of powers to local authorities, whose range of activities has been enormously restricted since the time that Margaret Thatcher came to office in 1979. Nothing is happening on these issues. The House of Lords is going to lose its hereditary peers, but there's going to be no replacement of that chamber with something that might be better, including a long-term Senate where people are voted in for, say, 15 years to provide the continuity of view that is required from people who serve in a second chamber, but which nonetheless provides a very different perspective on legislation from that which the Commons would give. There is no hint of electoral reform coming to us from Labour. First past the post served Labour incredibly well, of course, in the July 2024 election. It has got an enormous majority by picking up 33 or 34% of the vote, depending on which way you round the number. 1/3 of the people of the UK wanted a Labour government, and yet it has the power to do anything it wishes. That has to be wrong. There is no hint of reform coming in the way in which the House of Commons operates. It is not going to move into a place where every MP has a seat, for example, which is crazy. It's not going to vote digitally. It's not going to be properly presented to the world so that this tribalism, which is inherent in everything it does, is reduced in further. There is no way in which the ministerial code is going to be changed or encoded by law, as far as we have been told. Put all that together, and what have we got? When we add in the fact that devolution is really not on the agenda, what we've got is a Labour Party that is committed to the status quo. There is no hint of a desire to change anything of substance in what Labour is doing. Everything works for it very nicely as things stand. They are the party of the power elite that is content with the way the UK is at present, but which everybody else realises does not serve their purpose. Labour? No, they're not a radical party. They're not even a party of ideas. They're simply somebody who's keeping the show going until, in due course and inevitably, the Tories will come along and take over yet again. What a lame duck administration we've ended up with. Thanks for watching this video. If you like what you've seen, Please subscribe to this channel and push that bell button that tells you when we posted something new. You can also find me on Twitter at Richard J. Murphy. And more importantly, you can follow my blog, the Funding the Future blog. And if you do, you'll get daily updates on what is happening in our economy and in the politics that surround it.